Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. This is probably, if I just had to take a for fun guess, the most widely circulated XRP-related crypto media story today. Here it is from the crypto alert. Ripple Labs to buy back 10 billion XRP from its circulating supply. Well, if that's true, that's big news. But the headline to me, upon first reading it, I just found it to be insane. So is the headline actually true? Let's go ahead and break it down. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And I'll tell you, it's times like these that I am extra thankful that I have the platform here on YouTube that I do, because I think this is a bunch of silly nonsense. And here you can see, I'm just pulling up this tweet from Crypto Geek just to make this point. Nothing against Crypto Geek here for sharing a story. People share all sorts of stories all the time about all sorts of XRP-related stuff, all sorts of crypto-related stuff. It doesn't mean that they agree with all of the perspectives or any of the perspectives in the articles. It's okay to share articles and just spread information here. I'll just say in this particular case, though, this one ain't true. But I wanted to note, if you're looking right here on your screen right here, 197,000 views so far, just from this one tweet. And there are a ton of people in the XRP community that were retweeting this and sharing this. So my guess would be that this has been shared in the millions. Just a for fun guess. I don't know that it's fact, but I saw a ton of people circulating this, some really big numbers, since Twitter now publishes the views for every single tweet. You can go and check this stuff out. And it doesn't mean that everybody even clicked on the article, but still, that's some substantial reach here. So I just want everybody to simmer down now, because it did result in some, and sometimes heated debate, actually. So what I'm going to do is share perspectives from some people within the XRP community, and I disagree with a fair bit of what I'm going to show you, and I just want to be clear that anybody that I disagree with here on the channel is, it's just because I think that we should be engaging in thoughtful discourse. It's okay to disagree with one another, and just to be extra nice here and making it known that me disagreeing with any of these people is not an attack. It doesn't mean I think they're stupid or bad or anything of the sort. It just means that on this topic, I have a different perspective, and we should be able to be adults and let that be okay. Although hopefully they'd find my position persuasive, and if not, they can always articulate to me further why they still believe what they believe, but that's perfectly fine. So what is this nonsense, and what is this Crypto Alert website? Well, that's what we're going to get into. So let me share with you just a little bit of this article so you can understand what's being discussed, because the assertion here is gigantic. Because keep in mind, there's a max supply of 100 billion XRP. Right, that's the most there ever could have been, and because that's what was programmed. And then obviously there's less now because some has been burnt. But still, you get what I'm getting at here. You're talking about 10 billion XRP. That's close to 10% of the total supply. At the time I'm recording this, Ripple holds somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think, 48 billion XRP, with about, I want to say, I'm just pulling from memory here, I think about 42 billion of that is in escrow. So they hold almost half the supply. And what? They're gonna buy another 10 billion XRP because reasons? Oh yes, please tell me more. So the piece reads as follows. In a groundbreaking move, Ripple Labs, the San Francisco-based blockchain technology company, has announced its plan to buy back a significant portion of XRP tokens from its circulating supply. The buyback initiative, totaling 10 billion XRP, marks a significant milestone for Ripple and sends a strong signal to the cryptocurrency market. This article will delve into the implications of this buyback and what it means for Ripple and the broader XRP ecosystem. Ripple's motivation for the buyback. The decision to repurchase 10 billion XRP stems from Ripple Labs' strategic vision and commitment to enhancing the utility and value of the XRP cryptocurrency. By reducing the circulating supply, Ripple aims to exert more control over the token's price stability and liquidity. I just got to pause right there and say right now, that's a fool's errand, even if they were to try that. I'm telling you, the amount of volume that sell pressure that comes from Ripple as is, and they're like the biggest player already, it's almost nothing. In fact, I'm going to show you some numbers as we go through the video here. But even if there was this one-time big reduction in terms of the amount of XRP that could be on exchanges, my God, it's still going to be a drop in the bucket, even if... And it's just like, to what end? I got to ask you this. Like, I don't know about you folks, but I've been holding XRP since late 2017. And when I jumped in, I understood from the beginning that over time, Ripple's holdings would be reducing, which they actually have for over half a decade consistently and slowly, so as to not tank the XRP price market. I got that. But so that's why, because it's like you could make some, like I admit this too, they could every single month drop the billion XRP that comes out of escrow. They could drop that, just sell it, and just push the price down. They could. To what degree that would impact, I don't know. But eventually, you're not going to be able to have that kind of control. Eventually, there is a bottom. And on the flip side, even if they bought it back, which is I feel silly even entertaining this concept, but even if they did, that's still a one-time thing, and it's like they don't have infinite money to do that. Anyway, in fact, they don't have the money to do that, just to be clear. We'll more on that in just a second here. But the whole thing's silly. They're supposed to be and are reducing the total amount of XRP they hold over time. That's the plan. They've been doing it. And then they're going to do a 180, go the other direction? No, it's all just for us. No. And then the piece also says, additionally, the buyback program demonstrates Ripple's confidence in the long-term prospect of XRP, which could positively impact market sentiment. Oh, is that what's happening here? Well, here's the thing. I looked through this website a little bit further. I've never heard of them before, and this seems like some wacky-ass nonsense. Here's the About page for this website, and here's the team. There's 3 people on the team, and it looks to me like they just ripped off some stock photos from a website somewhere. That's what it looks like to me. And look at these names. The editor-in-chief is John Smith. The senior reporter is Jane Doe. Come on, I didn't see anybody else pull this. Did anybody else click on any other page on this damn website? Maybe somebody did. I just haven't seen it yet, but it's like, come on. Like, it doesn't take that much effort to divulge this. But there was serious discussion today, I kid you not, about like, oh gosh, but what if this is happening? Some people actually believing it. And then people debating whether or not it's good or bad. And I'm all about healthy conversation. I'm just noting that it's silly AF. And so here, Attorney John Deaton tweeted out, I don't believe Ripple is buying back 10 billion XRP until I hear it from Ripple. Spot on. Attorney Bill Morgan retweeted that and said, where are they obtaining the $5 billion to buy it at its current price? Who would lend Ripple the funds, given the lawsuit, to buy back a token under a litigation cloud? Unless there is another source of funding, such as an IPO. Yeah, they don't have that money. Now, they do have over $1 billion, which is a ton of money. But they don't have $5 billion Like, they don't. They literally don't have that. Where are they going to get that? well, they're not. And also, with the litigation going on, would that be advisable? Do you think that their attorneys would be like, yeah, go ahead, what the hell? Just go ahead and spend $5 billion on XRP. That's going to be great for our litigation. Judge Torres is going to love it. Like what? Come on. It's the dumbest stuff here. XRP community member Mr. Huber tweeted out, Ripple buys back 10 billion XRP. And he's retweeting somebody named JV, which I'll show you in a second, who says it's not a good sign. And so Mr. Huber says, buys back 10 billion XRP? Disagree. Don't see why that should be a bad sign at these prices. The only thing I'm really critical of is why announce it publicly. That makes me critical. So I don't know, maybe he was thinking that this is actually real. It's about 100% chance that it's just not real. And there are by the way, there's no sources for this data. Nobody else is reporting it, that I've seen anyway. But my God, this thing circulated like freaking crazy today. Like truly crazy. It went viral within our community, that's for sure. But yeah, no. So I would respectfully disagree with Mr. Huber and say, yeah, if Ripple's buying back a bunch of XRP, I view that as a negative because that's the opposite of the direction that they've been saying they're going to go and what I've expected and what I want. I don't want. The fewer gigantic whales, the better. Now I don't have a problem that they have what they have, and I've been aware of this since 2017. But I don't want it to go in the other direction. Why would I want that? Why would you want that? Why would anyone want that? That sounds stupid to me. No offense to anybody, and certainly not to Mr. Huber either. I just, it seems like a silly idea. Like, how would that be functionally a good thing? Like, you're thinking so short term. Like, what's the end game for Ripple if they're doing this? Because you're talking about, in theory, there's less XRP on exchanges, so in theory, the price goes up. I'm just telling you, even if Ripple did that, even if there were 10% less supply available on exchanges right now, if you really want to see the price of XRP get substantially larger, that's not going to be enough to ultimately do it. What you actually need is way more demand for XRP than there is today. People always focus on the supply side of stuff. What about the demand side of things? Because, I don't care if there were twice as much XRP, a 2x in total supply. I'm counting on, what if you're counting on like a 20x for XRP in terms of price? Like, how many people do you think are going to come? Like, that's way more than a 2x in demand increase. The demand side is what we should be focusing on, not so much the supply side. I've always thought that, and it's just silly, but I don't see people focusing on the demand side. Not enough people want XRP right this second today. That's the fact. That's the truth. Now, I don't think it's always going to be like that. I think we're early, and I think that the price of XRP is suppressed. You guys know my stance and all this stuff. I think it's going to be worth way more in the future. But the problem is there's not enough demand today. That's my stance. Then you have Neil Hartner, who is a Ripple employee, respond to Mr. Huber and said, unless the announcement comes from Ripple, assume it's BS clickbait. And I'm glad that he said that. And then there's this. So we have JV, and again, he tweeted out, not a good sign if true. And fair enough tweet. XRP community member Michael Nardolillo responded to him and said, Ripple buys back every month and has done so for years to offset line of credit sell pressure. And then JV responded, forgot about that. Still isn't a good sign. And then Michael Nardolillo says, why isn't it a good sign? It's Ripple buying back a portion of what they loan out for line of credit so the market isn't flooded. They already bought this $10 billion back over the last few quarters, $2.5 billion in quarter one alone. And that's true. He's citing facts here, but I still disagree with the stance from Michael on this. Because yes, they're buying that back, but understand over that time period that's being cited, and that there's some numbers on your screen right now. Ripple's also selling a ton of XRP. So they're buying back some, but they're selling more than they're buying. They're selling more than they're buying. If you're talking about right now, in addition to what's already happening here, if you're talking about in addition to that, Ripple suddenly somehow magically going to have $5 billion and buy 10 billion XRP, that's way different than what has been happening with them selling more than they've been buying for the entirety of the time that I've been in crypto since 2017. That is way different. So I would just respectfully disagree with Michael here on that. Like, it is fundamentally different. Now, the facts he's citing are true, and that is a fair enough point that they've been buying back, but that's not the same thing. That, to me, that's kind of like apples to oranges here. And you can see here, look, net sales as a percent of total volume in Q1 2023 this year, 0.44%. That's it. And that's because once you factor in, again, the buying and the selling, it comes out to 0.44%. Net sales as percent of total volume. In Q4 of last year, it was 0.35%. So it'll ebb and flow a bit. It's almost nothing. It's practically a rounding error. It's almost nothing here. But that, again, that's way different than Ripple being like, hey, we somehow magically attained $5 billion and we're going to go crazy and just buy a bunch of XRP. I don't see why that would be good. Like, if your idea of good is Ripple having an even greater percentage of the supply of XRP than they have now, then I just respectfully disagree, and I don't know where you're coming from. I just don't see how you view that as a positive thing here. Now, them buying back for the purposes of line of credit, when when you look at how it nets out, that they still have less XRP at the end of the day, well, that makes sense. If it's just in terms of making sure there's sufficient liquidity in corridors, I have no qualms with that. Of course not. We've known about this for years. That's totally different, though. And so XRP community member JV responded and said, you're showing me a market report created by the founding entity. LOL, we know the buy is to prevent a crash. Okay, so I respectfully disagree with that point. So I did, and I agree with JV in terms of, like, if this were true, and I don't think it's true. It's not true. I don't think that it would be a positive. That's the opposite of the direction Ripple's been promising to go. It would make me question why the hell they're actually doing this. What is the motive here? But again, I don't believe for a second they're doing it. But I disagree with him when he's saying that, this is to prevent a crash. My God, Ripple's never been able to control crashes, and it's never been a problem for them. Think about this. XRP, when its all-time high over half a decade ago, almost $4, it crashed. Was that a problem for Ripple? No, that wasn't a problem for Ripple. What about when, at the end of 2020, XRP ran up to about 80 cents, and then it crashed back down, ultimately, like, whatever it was, 16 or 17 cents. Was that a problem for Ripple? Should they have tried to prevent that? Like, I just don't understand. It's been 10 years of them not being capable and not even trying to prevent these crashes, And now they're suddenly going to do that. I just respectfully disagree with JV there. I don't think that makes any sense either. And think about you can talk again, like what happened in 2021 in April. XP ran up to $2. Why weren't they doing it back? I just respectfully disagree. Michael Nardolillo responds to him and says, you posted an article about Ripple buying back 10 billion XRP and your opinion that it's bad news. I'm showing you data we can verify on chain that shows they already bought back 10 billion XRP in the last year, trying to show you it's nothing new. I'll pause. Again, I respectfully disagree. This would be something new. It would absolutely be something new because you'd be talking about them buying way, way, way more than they're selling. That would absolutely be new. And it wouldn't even be close. There'd be a gigantic disparity. Like, I would love to see the XRP market report from Ripple on that one. Oh, yes, I would. My God, that'd be a whole thing, a fun thing to crack. Can of worms open, whatever. I just no. I don't know how he could think that that's a similar thing. It just plainly isn't. He then says it's not to prevent a crash. Now that part I agree with. It's not even happening, but I would agree that if they were doing it, it's not to prevent a crash because that just wouldn't make any damn sense. They've never cared. They actually can't control markets because even after they do that, the price can still crash, and then they can't just have infinite money. So it's a silly prospect anyway. So he says it's not to prevent a crash. As you can see, net sales still account for more XRP in the market. It's to supplement the one-way flow of line of credit product that doesn't buy XRP from the market, just Ripple. So look, I'll just say, if there is a time in the future where we do see a quarterly market report where Ripple does buy back more than they sell, if there's this short-term blip where for some reason they have tremendous growth and in order to manage the liquidity and there's some sort of reasonable explanation, I'll probably just say, okay, as long as the trend continues to go the way that they've been promising forever and what we're expecting, I'll just be like, okay, whatever. Because that could happen. I acknowledge maybe that does happen. I don't think that's ever happened, not that I can recall anyway. If it does, though, okay. But if you're talking about 10 billion XRP, that's not a little... oops, we had to go in this direction just a little bit for a quarter. No, if you're talking about 10 billion XRP, that's like fantasy land Looney Tunes nonsense. That's the way I look at it here. And so these are just some of the conversations. Some of them got more heated, but these I thought were a bit more civil and thoughtful, so I thought I'd highlight them. So I agree with parts from both of them here. But man, can we just consider this debunked now? And it makes me so thankful that I have the platform that I have, because again, my for fun guess is that this has probably literally been seen millions of times, showing up in news feeds at a minimum, and some people actually believe it. So I'm just going to go ahead and try and squash it right here. Let me know what you think. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.